Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Hotspur House. It's been quite a while, but we're glad to be back. I'm Tobey from _Spur Center, and today we're going to be going over the Europa League game against Lask, which we won 3-0. Carlos Vinicius and Gareth Bale made their debuts, and then we will be previewing the Burnley game on Monday. Today I am joined by Charlie. What do you think of the game against Lask on Thursday?
Well, you could say that it was a routine win, to be honest. Lask didn't really cause us too much trouble, which, is good to see. Davies playing centre-back and being a true leader, I was quite shocked how well he did at centre-back. But it was a good win. Obviously, it's only Lask, But it's a good win after that West Ham letdown. So hopefully that will get the confidence up again.
Yeah. Charlie, of course, is from N17 Nation on Instagram. And we are also joined by Bodhi from hotspur.industry, also from Instagram, but we will be with him in a minute. He's not quite ready. So let's just hop right into it. I completely agree with you that Ben Davies, the signs were all there that he would probably be a better center back actually than he is a left back. But I never thought of it, and it seems none of our previous managers ever thought of it either. But it makes sense. He's reliable. He's never crazy down the wing, and so I think it really makes sense. And he should be a left back more often. Center back more often. Especially with the amount of options we have at left back with Sessegnon when he gets back from loan, Reggie, and Dennis Sirkin from our academy. And Bodhi is here. So Bodhi, what'd you think of that game against Lask or Lask?
It was a good win. We should have got more. I thought it was a good performance, but it was expected because it was a low team. But it was good, and we just got to go to the next one and perform the same, and then hopefully we'll just keep winning.
Yeah, we surely got to build the momentum. And speaking of momentum, obviously the West Ham game wasn't what we wanted, and it was crushing the way it happened. But it took us to 4 games, I believe, unbeaten in the Premier League. And sorry, I'm just gonna count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games unbeaten overall. That's a pretty good record. That's something that I posted about it on my page, but that's something that we haven't had at all last season. Our longest run last season was 4 games and 6 games unbeaten. So not the best start to the season, but the Premier League is still wide open, and I think we have a real shot at winning it this year. We're the real we're the real dark horse, and I really think that we'll have a really good shot at it. What do you think, Charlie?
I wanted to. I have more to say about Ben Davies and the Lask game later, but talking about winning the league. Liverpool losing Van Dijk, crucial, absolutely crucial. I'm not going to say I'm happy about it, but in the side of my head, I'm kind of happy about it. And but quick recovery for him though. And City, I thought after the Van Dijk injury, City are going to be our biggest rivals for the title. And after I watched their game against West Ham yesterday, and they were really, really, really bad. They kept a lot of the ball, but they've always struggled since that season when they won the league. Pep, he seems to overcomplicate attacks. So he always wants to score the beautiful goal with a lot of passes, but he isn't ruthless enough like we are with our finishing. We take our chances. And City with Sterling missed quite a few sitters. They're going to need to change the way they play if they want to win the league. So I think we have a great chance.
Imagine 2 years ago if someone told you that we'd be more ruthless than City, more clinical in front of goal. You would have laughed. You would have laughed him off. I would have believed him. It's incredible how we've transformed under Mourinho, and obviously the results aren't quite there.
Don't say anything. Yeah. But don't say anything too early because I was talking with my dad about this. Last season under Jose, he came in, we won our first 3-4 games, And we were also feeling quite good. And last season under Jose, when Jose joined, not under Poch, but under Jose, we had a few good runs. I thought, oh, maybe this could be it. Maybe we could, as you said in the last podcast, we go 3 steps up, 2 steps up, and then 3 steps down constantly. And right now, this is the best we've been in quite some time. But with Jose, you never know what. Like, if we shockingly lose to Burnley tomorrow, I mean, I really hope we won't, but the confidence could just go down,
it's gone.
Drop.
Yeah.
People start questioning Jose after 2 or 3 games where we draw or lose. Things can change really quickly. So I won't go too far into winning the title. It's only 5 games in. I mean, Everton are top of the league, and they're losing 2-0 to Southampton right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, this season's very unpredictable right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Not to get too ahead of ourselves, but just going on your point of last season, how we go on a few runs where like, oh, we're looking really good. Those runs would be ended by an injury to Kane, or an injury to Son, or an injury to Sissoko.
Exactly.
Or an injury to Lloris.
Now we have
depth. I mean, I know Joe Hart isn't liked amongst a lot of the Spurs fans, but I mean, he got our first clean sheet of the season against a very low opposition. But I mean, you could argue that West Ham isn't exactly the greatest team. And
made a few good saves.
Yeah. And so I think it's really just gonna our depth this season is what's gonna really push us, because we've never had that before. I mean, you look back to the opening game of last season, we beat Aston Villa 3-1. We were bringing on Nkudu to bolster the attack. I mean, and this season we're bringing on Steven Bergwijn, Gareth Bale. I mean, just the amount of depth. I'm forgetting the word, but our depth has increased.
Now that you have that kind of firepower, there's no excuses for Jose. If Jose doesn't
exactly,
then he's gonna get the sack. Why didn't we give Poch this financial backing? But now
I think it's because we didn't have the financial power until Poch's last summer, where I mean, we spent 120 million, I believe, or like 130 over the summer. And last season, I mean, a lot of people seem to forget this, but we only spent 60 million last summer with Jose, and 20 million in the January transfer window. So we're not spending loads and loads, but we're doing that smart investment that Daniel Levy is so good at. I mean, and every single one of our signings this summer is fantastic. I mean, a lot of people will say Joe Hart isn't, but I mean, he brings us the mentality and experience. But the other 6, I mean, they're all quality players. And I think something that Jose Mourinho does a lot better of a job than Poch did was bringing in new players into the starting lineup. For under Pochettino, it seemed like it took 6 months, a year to really get those new signings into form. But I mean, Sergio Reguilon, he's played 4 games or 5 games maybe. He's incredible. One of my favorite players in the Spurs team right now, and I'm really hoping he starts playing a little bit worse, just so Real Madrid don't come back and take him next summer. But Doherty, he's still not in great form, but he's an exceptional right back, I think, and we'll see that within the next month. Carlos Vinicius had his debut, 2 assists. He's incredible.
Can I on Doherty?
Say that again?
Can I say something on Doherty?
Yeah.
Can I say something on Doherty? See, yeah, he's nothing special, but he's pretty basic. But he's very sturdy at the back, and he always seems to do well. He's never been the standout player, but he's always helped the defense.
Mm-hmm. But I think, to be fair, that's something that we need. We just need a solid guy at right back who's just a little more consistent than Serge Aurier. What were you going to say, Charlie?
Oh, I have a lot to say now. The talking about, that's exactly what I was saying. So Jose has absolutely no excuses. Last season he had excuses after excuses, and this season, this is it. This season is the pinnacle for Tottenham. If we don't win a trophy, we're just going to go back down. We need any trophy whatsoever, because if we don't get a trophy, if we don't finish top 4, Jose sacked, Kane leaves, Son leaves, absolute mess. I mean, I don't even want to think about it. So
we definitely need to win something
what
this
I
year.
wanted to say is so talking about Doherty, that's a bit harsh on him that he's basic, that he's average. He's I just think he's settling in, and he's just not used to the formation. I mean, he played as a pretty much
he's not.
right.
Not special, but he definitely does the job well.
No, but
I think it's also worth remembering. Go for it, Charlie.
People are now saying that Aurier is better than him in attack. That's nonsense. He is absolutely fantastic in the attack. He just hasn't had the chances because he hasn't been playing that high up, because Jose seems to give Reggie a lot of freedom on the other side. So we need someone to stay back in Doherty. But yeah, we're being a bit harsh. People are just being a bit harsh on him. And also talking about being harsh, and I know both of you hate him, but Sanchez, how could you give him so much stick? But how can you give him some stick out after the West Ham game? I was shocked. Yes, he scored the own goal, but if you watch the game, he pocketed Antonio the whole game. And I don't understand why people are saying, oh, he needs to get out of the club. Like, he's shambolic. It was, yes, the own goal was pretty bad, but except for that, I don't know what he did wrong, really. So,
no, yeah, I agree. I really like Sanchez. We need someone next to him.
I've said this so many times. Man. I've said this so many times to you before, right? What I said. I don't like him, right? And the reason is, I'm going to be honest with you. If he was consistent, he'd be one of the best centre backs in the Prem. But you find him making at least one mistake every single game, and it's not acceptable. It's just not. I know you want to win trophies. As long as Sanchez is still making those mistakes, you're not going to win any trophies. If you want to win trophies, you need a consistent centre back. He's just not consistent.
I think Sanchez, he's still fairly young. I mean, he's only 24. I think he needs just a really strong center back next to him who can tell him what to do. Or I think even having a keeper like Joe Hart behind him. I'm not saying that we should start Joe Hart in front of Lloris, but I think just he needs that constant instruction of what to do, because he has the talent. He has the talent to succeed. He needs, and he has the work ethic too. But his IQ, his soccer or his football IQ isn't necessarily the highest. But like when he's paired with Alderweireld in the back, it's our best defensive lineup. And I know they played against West Ham together, but at the moment, I think they're our best two center backs, not counting Tanganga and Rodon, because to be fair, Tanganga has only played like 6 or 7 games, but
I'm really hopeful to see Tanganga and Rodon play together. I think. I don't know. I have a little feeling that Rodon for West Ham.
He'll be thrown in.
Not West Ham. Sorry, Burnley.
You think he'll be playing against Burnley? Ooh, that's
Yeah, I think so.
I think.
First of all, I think it's pronounced Rodon, not Rodon. I don't know.
Oh, Rodon.
I have no idea, to be honest, but I think it's like that. But Rodon, I've watched some highlights of him. He's very pacey. He's definitely strong, and in a few years, he could be what you're talking about, the strong person next to Sanchez. Definitely could be. And I mean, he's not super young. He's 23. So he will really need to step up quickly if he wants to.
Go for it.
So if he wants to be a starter, he'll need to step up quickly, or he'll just end up like fourth. Yeah. And also, what I wanted to say, so I don't want to overanalyze the West Ham and LASK game, but talking about West Ham, I mean, the first half was one of the best performances I've seen from us. I mean, we dropped off a bit at the end, but except for that, I mean, Kane. I mean, when I was watching it with my dad, like when Kane, we didn't even turn the TV on. It was already 1-0. And then when Kane scored the 2, we were just laughing at this point because we've never seen us play this well ever. And Kane and Sona, as Berbatov said, Kane is crazy good, and as he said in these words, that shit that he did to assist Son is something that you'd expect of Kevin De Bruyne, not Kane. Berbatov pretty much said that Kane is the best player on the planet after Messi and Ronaldo with Lewandowski. So the big words, but hopefully Kane can keep it up. But talking about the 3 goals that we let in, the main point of the game was when West Ham scored the first goal, because defensive error, too much space, Reguilon left too much space, and suddenly it's 3-1. Not much hope, but it gives West Ham players something to fight for. And then crossed in, Sanchez, very unlucky, somehow managed to head it into his own net, and now it gets tricky. And then yes, Lanzini, I swear he'll never hit a ball like that ever again.
Nope.
And yeah, it happened 3-3, and we just can't be letting that first goal in. We were 3-0 up, it was 10, but in the second half and the thing is, I always thought, Jose, when we're like 2-0, 3-0 up, he tells everyone thinks that he tells the players to settle down and to let the other team attack us. I don't think that's true. I mean, look at the documentary. Every time they showed Jose presenting the tactics for the game, they always seem to be attacking. I didn't see any real defensive tactics. I just think.
I was just say really quickly. I think that he's definitely changed his tactics for Spurs. We're much more of an attacking team than any of his previous teams. I mean, his Champions League win with Chelsea, he started the game with like 7 defenders, so he definitely was an attacking coach. But I think now he's become this. He's become like a Guardiola, but without all the unnecessary passes, if you know what I mean. Like we're clinical. We get into the other opposition's box, and we don't spend.
That's what makes Guardiola is his unique passes.
His because Guardiola, his teams, they get into the box or they get around the box, and they pass and they pass and they pass and they pass. And maybe it's just because we have such an exceptional pair of players with Kane and Son, but when we get the ball around there, we have a shot off within 2 or 3 passes. I mean, you look at the West Ham game and Kane's first goal. He receives the ball from Son. He turns, he megs a player, and he takes a shot, and he scores. And then Son's goal. Kane gets the ball in midfield. He plays it over the top to Son. Son gets in the box, and he scores. I mean, if that's under a Guardiola team, you know, maybe Kane plays it over the top for Son. Then Son lays it off for Bergwijn. Bergwijn passes to Kane. Kane plays it out wide to Reguilon. Reguilon cuts it back to Højbjerg. I mean, and then it's just we're going and we're going. And that, to be honest, we had a feel like that with Pochettino, where we kind of just pass around the box and wait for an opportunity to come up. But I think we're much more direct, and I think that's really it's what's setting us apart from other Premier League teams right now, because the other Premier League teams just aren't they're not doing as well as us in terms of scoring goals. But we definitely need to improve our defense.
But it's pretty simple, to be honest. It's pretty simple. Jose has pretty much mastered the art of counter-attacking. He did this, and we're not totally different from other teams he's managed. Just look at Real Madrid. When he was at Real Madrid, he was playing fluid counter-attacking football. Not too complicated with the passing, just because it's similar. The situation is similar at Tottenham. At Real Madrid, he had Ronaldo and Bale on the wings, very pacey players, and then I think it was just Benzema as a poacher, and then he just ball over the top from Ramos to Bale. Bale run into the middle. Ronaldo on the header, and it's just simple, but it's so clinical. It's just perfection, and I think it's working so well for us because I mean, under Poch, when I watched City yesterday, it really reminded me. I remember all the goalless games with Poch where it was so frustrating. We dominated, but we still didn't win. It was so frustrating. And now it's the opposite, and it's a really good thing to see. Yeah, it's a really good thing to see.
we need a combination manager with Mourinho and Pochettino, so Pochettino can coach just not to concede, and Mourinho can coach us to score.
Well, actually, if you think about it, that's something you wouldn't expect to say because Jose seen as a defensive manager and Poch seen as an attacking manager. But times have changed, I guess.
Yeah. Now I'm just gonna talk. Carlos Vinicius had his debut against Lask and had 2 assists. He missed really a sitter, if we're being honest, right in front of the goal early in the game. But I think he's going to be a good striker. His touch is incredible. His vision is incredible as well. And he has more speed than Kane, which is always good because if you want to bring on someone late, you want them to be able to like really get behind the line, drive defenders backwards. But I think he's going to be definitely a good signing for us, good loan, and we'll see how it goes. But I think we'll end up paying for him over the summer and make him a permanent player for Spurs. What do you think, Bodhi, about his Carlos Vinicius's debut?
I was very happy. I think it was unfortunate he didn't get a goal, but to be fair, he didn't really have any chances to score.
Other than the one, yeah.
His assists were fantastic. We've already got it. He had a great header to Son, and the pass
really
tomorrow was one of the best moments of the entire game. To be honest,
it was Harry Kane-esque.
He done right. I thought if we sign him, if he keeps playing the way he did.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Talking about Vinicius, well, it was he didn't get many chances in front of goal, but he's definitely more pacey than Kane. Mm-hmm. But I could honestly, as Jose said in the press conference, we don't be shocked if we see Kane and Vinicius as a striking partnership.
I'm so excited to see that.
I can't wait to see that. Yeah, I can't wait to see that. Just imagine Kane and Vinicius up top with Son and Bergwijn or Son and Bale on the wings, and then in midfield Højbjerg and Ndombele, or Højbjerg and Lo Celso. I mean, that's just.
We have such a good squad right now. It's incredible. I'm so impressed with the work that Daniel Levy has done to make us this squad. And
right now Spurs are like kids in a candy shop.
I'm honestly at the point where I'm thinking like we need to have 12 players on the pitch because there's so many that I want to see play at the same time. And it's crazy. It's never been like this as a Spurs fan. Just you want to see. I want to see Reguilón start. I want to see Rudon play. Eric Dyer's going to play. We all know that's going to happen. Sanchez, I want to see him play. Doherty, I really want to see him get a chance at right back. I want to see Højbjerg, Lo Celso, Dele, and Ndombele in midfield. And then I want to see Carlos Vinicius, Seung-min Son, Gareth Bale, and Harry Kane up top. So it's like I'm at this point where like, oh wait, no, we can only have 11 players on the pitch. So it's
incredible. But one player we haven't mentioned is too much is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, aka Prime Zinedine Zidane. What an absolute legend!
Incredible!
What a performance! What a leader! I've just lost for words. He is our best signing this transfer window. I'm sorry, but for the performances for now. You can argue Reggie. You can argue Reggie.
No. Arguing about it. Højbjerg has been the best signing by a marathon. Call whatever you want. He's been the best one. And any other fan that says anything other than him is delusional.
Well, Reguilón, you can argue though. You can argue that Reguilón's not far, but yeah, Højbjerg. If you look at his stats in the Premier League, I think he has the most passes in the Premier League.
He does,
and also his defensive stats. Just the amount of times he's headed the ball out of the box from corners, from crosses. I mean, I don't know. I noticed that against West Ham in the first half. Literally the only player that was just getting the ball out of the box again and again. He can do anything.
He's an exceptional player. He's definitely what we needed too, because we didn't have that real defensive.
Remember looking back on the start of the window when we signed him, and we were all like, don't know what to think about it. Like a lot of Southampton fans are saying that he's average. Well, they can shut up.
They were just annoyed that we signed him. He's an exceptional player, and he has an exceptional attitude. I mean, you look at that. There was a video that Spurs, I think, posted on their Instagram, or probably on all social media platforms, but they posted a video of Højbjerg. He took his picture, and then he was coming off, and all the players were clapping for him. So he's obviously well liked amongst the players, and he's definitely been a great signing. There's one guy who also made his debut against Lask, who you probably don't know his name. You probably forgot it by now, but
Jack Clark.
Jack Clark.
I was actually going to say Gareth Bale, but Jack Clark too. Gareth Bale making his full debut.
Opinions is rising.
Gareth Bale made his full debut, starting on the pitch for the first time for Spurs. What do you think of Gareth Bale's performance? And we'll talk about Jack Clark after that.
He got an assist thanks to the new rule where if you hit the ball into someone and it goes into the goal, it counts as your assist. So he technically got an assist, which he should be pretty happy about.
I was unable to watch the first half.
There were a few glimpses of quality, certainly, but I mean, you can still tell he's not fully fit. Yeah,
I completely agree with that. He's definitely still getting into it, and it's probably going to take some time. He won't be fully going at him.
Right now, Bergwijn is my first choice, to be honest. But in a few games, Bale will definitely, hopefully, be back to it.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's still coming back from his injury. He's still getting fully fit. But I am so excited to see that front three of Son, Kane, Bale really going at the opposition. It's going to be incredible. I'm so excited. It's unreal that he's playing. I mean, I was watching the game against Lask, and
doesn't he just? He looks so good as a number 9. Like when he came on against West Ham, straight away taking that free kick, and just look at his run up. It looks so. It's similar to Ronaldo's, but I was like, oh my god! Imagine if he scores! Oh my god! It was just so amazing looking at him, number 9, taking a free kick, Bale, and just saying this a year ago, you just wouldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of things you wouldn't say a year ago, just imagine someone a year ago told you Jose Mourinho coached Spurs to a 3-0 win in the Europa League, where Joe Hart got the first clean sheet of the season. You'd have thought that they were mad.
I mean, they would look at it positively and negatively. You know, we got Bale. We got Jose.
And Gareth Bale was making his full debut for Spurs. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, he's still, like we said, he's still warming up, really, and we'll see the best of him, hopefully sooner rather than later. But another Jack Clark got his Spurs debut, and he only got around 5-6 minutes, I think, on the pitch, and he had a one chance which he probably should have scored, but it was a bit of a tough opportunity. So I think he showed promise, and I'm excited to see him grow. I think he's going to be one for the future for sure. I think we have one of the best youth lineups in the country, with Jack Clark, Tanganga, Rodon, Reguilon. It's a Skip, Parrott, Sessegnon. We have Sirkin. We have a lot of good, really, really promising young players that I'm excited to see.
The problem is, like, we have all these young talents, but like none of them are absolutely shocking everyone. Like one player, I hate Arsenal obviously, but one player that I absolutely love is Saka. Just how good is he? I just wish, like, that's what I wanted Sessegnon to be, and hopefully he'll be that when he comes back from Hoffenheim. But like, I don't know, I'm just so underwhelmed with Sessegnon. it's just really sad because it feels like I don't know. I don't know if I have any confidence in him becoming what he was supposed to become 2 years ago. But hopefully,
I
really,
think
I
he'll still
really
get
hope
there.
that he will.
I think he'll
Yeah.
get there. It's just he needed the playing time. So it's good that he went out on loan, and ultimately it's harder for Sessegnon to break into Spurs' first team than it is for Saka to break into Arsenal's first team. And I don't care who you are, I don't care who you support. You can't deny that Spurs have a better lineup than Arsenal. But we have a better team. It's
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I think Sessegnon, he will get there. It's going to take a little bit of time. You can't always hit the ground running. So he'll build. You just have to add fuel to the fire, and then I think he's going to be a real quality player, and we'll have Reguilon and Sessegnon as our left backs for the future.
Honestly, I feel like obviously you're right about Sessegnon. He needed to go out on loan for the game to get game time so he could get better. I honestly think when I feel like he could take over Son when Son gets too old and his time comes. I still have really high hopes for Sessegnon, and I think he's going to be one of our best players in a couple of seasons. So I just give him more time.
Yeah.
As daily game anyways.
It seems like Mourinho prefers Sessegnon as a left back, which I thought was interesting, considering that it seems like Mourinho also likes Sirkin. And if you make Sessegnon into a left back, that basically shuts out any chance that Sirkin had at getting into the first team, because you can't have three left backs.
You can forget. No. But you can forget about Sirkin and Sessegnon if we have Sergio Reguilon. I mean,
well, but you have to have two left backs. I mean, even if Sessegnon,
but
he's just going to rotate in.
Is just.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I completely agree. Sergio is insane.
We haven't been thinking about this, but I think Jose might try out if we're on a really good run of form, and he just like maybe in a Europa League game he might try it out. But a formation like 3-5, 3-5-2-1-2, or I don't know. But what like with three centre backs. Potentially even Davies as a left centre back, and then I don't know, Alderweireld and Sanchez or Skriniar or something, and then as a left wing back or left mid, Sergio, right wing back, right mid. Because imagine having Sergio and Doherty both really attacking, like more attacking than they are now, and then you have Son and Kane up front. That would be a force. Be a force.
I completely agree. And well, something that I also think is interesting is I think two times this so far, Ben Davis and Sergio Reguilon have been on the pitch at the same time, with Ben Davis playing left back and Reguilon playing almost as a left winger. So
Jose mentioned that in the press conference, yeah.
So maybe I am overthinking Dennis Sirkin being played out of the club, and maybe Mourinho sees Reguilon as our left winger going forward, and then we have Sessegnon and Sirkin as our left backs.
Okay, now you're going a bit too far.
I think honestly, what I'm thinking is obviously Danny Rose is being sold. I think I feel like the reason why, you see, because he likes Sirkin as well, he'll want to give Sirkin game time. So he'll want to integrate Sirkin more, but because there's Ben Davies already, perhaps, this is only a thought, but maybe he was playing Ben Davies centre-back because he's planning on trying to integrate Sirkin into the left-back role instead.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. I think I was going to mention that earlier when we were talking about Ben Davis.
Or he just played Davies centre-back because Eric Dyer and Tanganga are injured. I mean, you guys are maybe. I mean, there's a big chance you're right, but I think you're thinking about it too deep. Like
conspiracy theories.
Yeah, like I mean, I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. But give Sirkin time. I think we'll loan him out first because he has never played a full season of professional football where he plays week in, week out, and we can't just immediately. I think we might loan him out in January, and because he's only 17, isn't it? 18? Is he 17 or 18?
I think he's 18.
Okay.
But still, I saw on a thing that apparently Dennis Sirkin went back to the under-23s. I think. a while back.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's 18. Well, either way, I mean, playing with the U23s as an 18-year-old, that's pretty impressive. But I still think, I mean, his quality, you could see it in the preseason games when he was playing. He was playing a lot. I think he is going to be a good. I think he's going to be. I'm trying to think if he's going to be great or if he's going to be world class. I think he'll be great. I don't know if he's going to be world class quite yet, but he does need to get some game time. But I mean, you never know with Mourinho what he's going to do, because like he decided Sessegnon needed game time, but then he threw Tanganga in without really any experience other than practice or trainings. So
Yeah, that's one of the biggest qualities about Jose is he's so unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen with him.
exactly. So I think there's no one other than Jose knows whether or not Sirkin is going to get any game time this year. So we'll see. We'll find out soon.
I'm really shocked we haven't mentioned this yet. This is going totally off topic, but Jedson Fernandez, he's done.
Yeah,
he's going to Benfica in January, and it's pretty sad. It is sad because I had such high hopes for him, and he seemed to really be happy to join the club in January, because I had heard of him quite a lot before we signed him, and I knew that he was a really, really good young prospect. I just think we haven't given him enough. We should have loaned him out. Actually, we can't loan him out if we have him on loan, can we? So,
yeah.
But I mean, I know he's not worth 50 million, but I don't know. I think the problem is that we've got too much depth in midfield, just like Liverpool had last season. So he was never going to get a chance, really. But if we didn't have Sissoko or something, or Winks, I think he'd get much more game time. But like this, our team's too good for him. So sadly,
mention recently there's been rumors mentioning Liverpool and Tottenham with Calvin Phillips. I just want to mention. Also, would you consider
50 million
Sissoko and Winks and signing Calvin Phillips?
Calvin Phillips. Okay, just before we talk about whether or not we sign him, Calvin Phillips is a defensive mid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winks okay, and that way. Well, I don't think Winks is a center mid. But wait, before just really quickly, if we sign Calvin Phillips and we have Højbjerg,
what happens with Højbjerg?
Oliver Skip isn't getting in the lineup.
Exactly.
And I think I think we need to bring Oliver Skip in. He's grown up with the club. He's obviously a talented player.
About my idol.
Say that again.
Who?
Huh?
What did he say?
Oh, I said I forgot about my idol.
Oh, yeah. But Skip, the Norwich fans are raving about him every time he plays. You see Spurs Twitter retweeting some Norwich fan who's like, "Oh, Oliver Skip is world class. Spurs, you have a real world beater here," and he has the talent. I mean, you don't see many Spurs Academy products that are. How old is he? He's 20, 21 maybe. You don't see many of them starting for Spurs. I mean, he played the full game against Burnley, I believe, or he started the game against Burnley. But it's just, if we sign Calvin Phillips, there's no way that he gets in the lineup, and then we probably sell him for $5 million if we're lucky.
But talking about Skip, so I always thought it's all changed. But when I saw Skip first, I was like if you look at his the way his body is built, he has like it almost seems like he has short legs and a really big torso, and then he looks like he's a bit clumsy and he's not very quick, and I mean he isn't the quickest, but when you watch him, he defies everything you thought about him because he's really good. Yeah. And the way your body doesn't defy you as a player, because look at Pogba. Pogba has the perfect body. He's 6'4". He's just perfect perfect footballer. But yet he just doesn't have the determination, and it shows that determination is the most important thing. And Skip is really when I watch Skip, he really impresses me. and a lot of Norwich fans have been saying that, like, I don't know if we mentioned in the last podcast when he was really badly fouled, and the other player got a red card, and Skip just got up and kept going. So, Skip, I have high hopes for Skip, definitely. Also, one thing before you talk again, yesterday I watched Manchester United Chelsea, and
0-0.
Yeah, but when I want to say, like, people, the Premier League's charging £15 to watch a game. I'd pay £15 to unwatch that, because that was it just proves. I mean, here in Montenegro, it's free to watch the Prem, but what I'm talking about is, like, it just shows how superior we are right now to Manchester United and Chelsea. They had zero attacking thought. I mean, it's even City, like, our attacking is just some of the best on the planet right now.
We're definitely the best attackers in the Premier League as of right now.
Well, they both had an amazing midfield, and when I watched them, their play was amazing. But they could neither teams had a finishing touch, and that's what cost them. 0-0 is an amazing result for us, because obviously they're two massive clubs that are
dropping points.
Fighting with.
But what I wanted also, so now Kane is statistically the best striker to ever play in the Premier League. So
it's funny
though. He has to keep it up for this season.
Yeah, but 0.7 goals per game is unbelievable.
It's incredible for sure.
And people still compare him to Aubameyang. It just makes me sick. I can't, man. Like, Man United fans say that Martial's better. I just can't. I can't deal with that delusion.
Sometimes I don't understand the English media. They go after players.
I think they just like Aubameyang's trim.
Well, I mean, the English media, like, they go after their own players. Like, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was saying the other day about how the English media needed to leave Mason Greenwood alone because he's only 18 or 19, but, like, they go after Harry Kane, and honestly, it disgusts me when I'm talking to people and they go, well, you can't even understand Harry Kane. There's nothing he can do about it. Like, that, what is your point with that? Like, it just makes me, it's unbelievable.
And also, like,
the amount of disrespect.
Because the disrespect, I mean, he's done more than they'll ever do in their lives, and at the same time, he's fixed their English. He's fixed his English a bit anyway. But the point is, Harry Kane is I mean, I'm sure that he'll get knighted by the Queen if she's still alive soon, because he's done so much. I mean, if all that he needs to do now is win a trophy with us and win the World Cup with England, then that's pretty much. I mean, he'll be a legend. Because if you think about it, like, Harry Kane, so he's just been so good, and he's such a humble guy as well. Like, he's an ambassador for quite a lot of stuff, and he's just. I just don't know how you can hate on him, and people just hate on him because people think, oh well, Aubameyang's got pace, Martial's got pace, and everyone thinks Kane is so slow, and all that Kane can do is shoot. He can't pass, he can't dribble. Well, he's proving everyone wrong this season.
Yeah.
This season he's going to get the spotlight in the Prem, and people are actually going to see him as what he is, the best centre forward on the planet.
I completely agree.
So hopefully,
if we'll move on after. We'll move past Harry Kane after this, but if Harry Kane was playing for, God forgive me for saying this, if Harry Kane was playing for Arsenal, the Arsenal fans would be singing his name. He'd be the best player in the world ever, probably. He's better than Pele, according to them. And then he plays for Manchester United. They're all singing his name. He's the greatest player to ever touch the ball, to ever grace the pitch. He's such a good player, but he's not pacey, so he's not good enough, according to people. It's ridiculous, to be honest. But
they say he's not good because they wish they had him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's so good, and he plays for Spurs, which, I mean, for
everyone
reason,
hates on us for everyone hates us for no reason. I see us as a nice club. Like, our players are never get into some criminal stuff or anything. They never do something stupid like other players. And like, I
Exactly.
just don't see what you can hate about us. Like, I don't get it. But
It's because we're a big club, but we haven't won a trophy in a while. But that's going to change this season.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into our Burnley preview.
Don't forget the Audi Cup, man.
Let's get the Audi Cup. Bring it out of the trophy cabinet. Show it off to the world.
Okay. Okay, but Burnley time. So Burnley, I'm confident. Look, Burnley is always always dodgy team to play because Sean Dyche, Sean Dyche, however you say his name. He's been there quite a few seasons, like 5 or 6, and he's implemented a certain style of play into their team. They haven't changed their team in years. Literally, they spent 0 this summer, which is really bad, obviously. But at the same time, the players are used to each other. And as we know, under Poch at least, we always struggled when a team just totally sat back, 10 men behind the ball. And under Poch, we always struggled to break those defenses. But under Jose, it's looking different, which is a great thing because teams like City, Man United, and Chelsea, even Liverpool, right now, struggling.
Pochettino was like, play good football. If you see a gap, and pass it in, and then shoot. But with Jose, it's just shoot on sight. So you'll find if they play extremely defensive, you'll find there'll be a lot of runs in the game.
Yeah, but that's the thing about Burnley. So yes, they're second bottom in the league or whatever, and they've been very underwhelming. But at the same time, Burnley's always hard to play. As Jose said, this is exactly what Jose said. Burnley is always hard to play. Yeah. And never underestimate them because we underestimated West Ham in the last 10 minutes. Let's be honest. We underestimated them and it cost us. So we'll need to concentrate.
I'm just going to say this as a stat. I'm not going to say it's going to have any effect on our game, especially because there was a similar stat a few years ago, and then Burnley scored against us, and I think we lost 1-0. But Burnley have scored 3 goals in their 4 games. So they're tied for the least amount of goals scored this season. But like I was saying, like last year, I think they had only scored like 2 or 3 goals maybe, and then they scored against us and they won 1-0. So we definitely we have to pocket their forwards. Chris Wood and who's their other one? They have Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes. We need to pocket them. Yeah. And then their right winger, Goodmanson. He's quick, but I think Reguilon is equal to the task. And then we just have to. I'm confident that we can score now. We have to hit it from the off. As soon as that whistle blows, we're gonna be all over them. We have to.
So also talking about Barnes and Chris Wood, that's the thing about Burnley. This is like the Premier League. There's no easy games in the Premier. Because like I was talking with a Man City fan earlier in the day. Like he was saying, like, what do City do to get back to what they were in 2017 when they were absolutely fantastic? And what I told him is, it's not that your team's gotten worse. If anything, with the players, they've gotten better. What's happened is that all the other teams in the Premier League have gotten better because the Prem is on a totally different level to any other league in the world right now. And what I wanted to say, so Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood, this is what annoys me. These mid-table sides that every year they scrape it to stay in the league. You know, Burnley is the classic example because they hardly spend any money. They don't play beautiful football. They play rough football. They play really classic English style. Just head the ball, bang it up the pitch, 10 men behind the ball. But it works for them. It works for them. Maybe not from the start of the season, But Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes are really tall, and this is why. Who was it that we played earlier in this Newcastle? This is why they put Andy Carroll on. He's tall. He's 6'5" or something, and he's just going to head the ball into our hand, and they're going to get a penalty. That's exactly what Burnley will be doing tomorrow. So we just need to try to defend against. We just need to try to stop Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes. That's pretty much it.
For this reason, I think we shouldn't start Aurier because we need to be careful not to give away fouls on that left-hand side because like 3 or 4 of our goals we've conceded this season have started from free kicks from the left side. 2 goals against West Ham.
No, well,
One from Everton.
No, it's not 3 or 4. It's not 3 or 4. It's 5. It's shocking. Like, just these useless fouls. Like, either at the end of the half, or at the start of the second half, or at the start, or at the end of the second half. We just these useless fouls from Aurier. It's just annoying.
Yeah, that's definitely something he needs to work on in his game. Is giving away less of those fouls. But I'm gonna I'll go in and throw in my predicted lineup for tomorrow. Lloris, obviously. I do think Aurier is going to start. Then it'll be Alderweireld coming back. Sanchez in the middle. Reguilon at left back. Then in midfield, I'm really tempted to say Højbjerg, Ndombele, Lo Celso. I think we might see it for the first time on Monday. And then an attack, I think we're going to see Jack Clark on the left. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to see Son, Kane, and then I think we'll see Bergwijn on the right, who was rested against Lask. Charlie, what do you think?
Okay, I'm coming up. So I'm not too sure, but so goalie Lloris, even though he was pretty underwhelming against Burnley, but still, Lloris, Reguilon, Doherty, Eric Dyer. Is he back?
I don't think he'll be back yet. That's the only reason he's not in my predicted lineup.
If he is, he's going to play because he's tall. He's the kind of player you play in these games. But if not, Alderweireld and Sanchez. And then in midfield, this is where it gets tricky for me. Because I think Ndombele and Sissoko is such a good partnership. But then you need to put Lo Celso in. But against Burnley, when we took Ndombele off, everything changed. But Ndombele and Sissoko are just so good together. The French partnership against Burnley in the first half, and Ndombele and Sissoko are bossing that midfield, and I always thought they should play more together because the last 2 times I think they played together against Man U as well.
Yeah, they did.
And we won easily. And you see, like Højbjerg and Ndombele and Sissoko is something I like to see, but at the same time, Lo Celso hasn't played too much recently because he's been resting and injured.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. Højbjerg, Lo Celso, and Ndombele is what I really hope to see because Burnley are weak in midfield, so that should give us more attacking freedom in midfield. And then in the attack, classic Son, Kane, and also I agree with you. Same lineup, I think, as you, Bergwijn, since he has been resting, be up for it. So yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna actually change my midfield. You seldom see players when they come out of injury start right away, and I think it'll be good to bring on Lo Celso for Ndombele. So I think we'll see as long as we're winning the game, I think we'll see Højbjerg, Sissoko, and Ndombele start, and then we'll see Lo Celso come on for Ndombele around the 70th minute.
Interesting.
And then if we're still tied, or God forbid we're losing, I think we'll see Lo Celso come on for Sissoko around the 60th or 70th minute.
If we're winning comfortably, I can definitely see us putting Winks on just for the consistency. But
I think with Spurs this game, if they score first, it's going to be an absolute massacre, like 5 minutes. But if they score first, I fancy Burnley to win, to be honest. So I think for me, it's about who scores the goal first. It's more likely Spurs, obviously, but
if we score a goal in the first 15 minutes.
Can I do my first? Yeah. Can I do my predicted lineup now?
Go for it.
I think I'm going to go for a 4-4-2 this time.
Interesting.
Yeah, Lloris. I think played yesterday. The backline is probably a bit tired, so I could see Joe Rodon playing maybe alongside Alderweireld or with Davies at centre back, because of the Welsh partnership. A left back, it's going to be Reguilon, and a right back, I'm going to say Doherty. I could see in the midfield, I'm going to guess Højbjerg and Ndombele. I was thinking Jack Clark for a minute, but then I thought, actually, no, it's not likely, to be honest. But I think up top, you're going to see Bale and Kane, and then right, Bergwijn, and on the left, Son.
That'd be a great lineup. I mean, ultimately, we're going to need to break down this team, so having more attackers on the field is definitely a good thing. Yeah, I think that'd be a lineup I prefer, except I'd put on Vinicius for Bale because I think Bale isn't quite ready to start the game yet. But I think Bale will come on. I think Bale, Lo Celso, and depending on how the game is going, Winks will all come on relatively early in the game, like the 60th to 70th minute. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. If we score a goal in the first 15 minutes, I think we'll win comfortably, probably 4 or 5-0. And if we score in the first 15 or 20 minutes, I think this is going to be the start of a run where no one scores on us. I think it'll be, we'll have the momentum and we'll have clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet. And this is going to be when we're really starting to be taken seriously by the rest of the Prem. Because our next games are Burnley, Royal Antwerp, Brighton, Ludogorets,
Brighton, and
West Brom.
And West Brom, yeah.
Yeah, so I
we
think
should win all.
we should win all of these and keep clean sheets. And if we keep a clean sheet against Burnley, I think we'll make it through that entire run, and then we'll have Man City, and then really depending on how that game goes, that's going to be when we are seriously taken seriously as title contenders. If we can keep a clean sheet and beat Man City by 2 goals, that is when the Premier League will start taking notice of what is going on at Tottenham Hotspur. And I think they will.
Yeah.
I think this is what's going to happen. I have full belief in
But
this.
yeah, we need to win. We need to win all these games because then we have City, Arsenal, and Chelsea. So we definitely need to win.
And well, I mean, even going on in that run, Crystal Palace, which you never know, that's a London derby. You never know what's going to happen in a London derby. Then we have Liverpool, Leicester, Wolves. So we're going into a hard lineup or a hard run of games. So we need to be getting the points on the board. We need to just get the points in, get the points, win the games. That West Ham, nothing like the West Ham can happen again. If we get in the lead, we need to show that we can hold it. And I mean, the Liverpool game, they went down to Sheffield. And I mean, I was hoping that Sheffield would hold on, but Liverpool comes back every single time they go down. It's just so frustrating to watch as a fan who's hoping they drop points. But we have to have that sort of mentality that when we go down, we score right away, and we score another one, and we score another one. And we have to have the mentality. And I really think that we do now. And it's going to be exciting. I'm excited to see what's coming. Next few months is going to be good. So I'm going to go with a 3-0 lead or a 3-0 win for Spurs. Charlie, what's your prediction?
For me,
Bodhi.
Okay, well, for me, if we score first, I'm going for a 6.
6?
Wow.
And if they score first, I'm going for a 2-1 to Burnley.
Ooh.
Well, it all depends on who scores first, as Bodhi said. But I'm really happy because last season we really struggled to score first. But this year, it's been the opposite. We keep scoring first very early and then just finishing the game off. So hopefully, if we score in the first 15 minutes, we're going to win 4-0. That's my prediction. Yeah.
I think it's going to take us. The reason I'm going with a 3-0 win is I think it's going to take us until like the 25th minute. And then I think we'll put 2 more past them before halftime. And then we'll kind of just coast the game out, which I don't agree with. Based on the West Ham game, I think we should be really pushing. But I think Mourinho will want to rest some players and just not risk injuries. So I think it's going to be 3-0. I think it'll be 3-0 at halftime, and then we'll coast the rest of the game. So, yeah. Any other thoughts you guys want to throw in?
No, actually, this is rare, but I'm pretty much done.
Bodhi, anything you want to add?
Nah, not really. Nothing.
Alrighty. Thank you guys for coming again. Thank you for listening, all of you out there. This has been another episode of the Hotspur House. I'm, of course, Tobey from _Spurs Center on Instagram. I've been joined by Charlie from N17 Nation and Bodhi from hotspur.industry. Come on, you Spurs.